It's 26 degrees Celsius here in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Good morning and welcome to your daily dose of sunshine. Yes, the sun will rise in spite of whatever is happening. I'm Maukbe Ogun Yusuf.
Well, I guess it's getting, shall I say, cooler in Abuja. Well, it's 29 degrees in Lagos. I'm Maya Makinde. Welcome to the show. It's April 30, and guess what? Tomorrow is May 1. Just saying.
Well, you know that you and I will be here, the real workers. The real workers. Meanwhile, the weather is getting cooler. We're still seeing no rain in Abuja, Ayo. I know that's not the case in Lagos. What are you guys doing? Hoarding all the rain in Lagos?
Well, you know we're a coastal city, so don't be jealous. Manage what you got, you know, wherever you find yourself right there. So.
I was going to say, be careful, lest you get flooded. You better send some of it to the Federal Capital City. Oh, well. Well, this morning, we're starting with a matter that is quite heavy. We're starting in Efurun with the fatal shooting of a young man. His name is Mene Ogidi, whose death has now triggered one of the most decisive responses yet from the leadership of the Nigeria Police Force. In a rare and forceful move, the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Rilwan-Disu, has ordered the dismissal and criminal prosecution of 5 officers, including an assistant superintendent, over what he describes as an extrajudicial killing, one that violated Force Order 247, the rule governing the use of firearms. It's a strong statement and it is swift action. It's already been described as a potential turning point. But beyond the headlines, important legal questions remain. What does dismissal really mean in this context? What are the thresholds for criminal liability in a case like this? And perhaps most critically, how do we ensure that this process does not end with administrative action, but the entire judicial process is seen through? We'll be discussing that in just a moment, Ayo. But clearly, I'm sure that you were a little relieved yesterday to see the response of the Inspector General of Police. Well,
it was a bit cheering, but at the same time, the issues that you have raised are quite germane. And there are some of the statements that the IG made, you know, in the whole melee. One of the categorical statements that he made was that, look, we're not going to tolerate this kind of thing anymore. We're not going to be listening to all of this stuff anymore. For instance, one thing that he said, no level of criminal suspicion against a citizen justifies extrajudicial killing. Our duty is to protect lives, not to extinguish it. And well, that is one. And he has also said something that you mentioned, which is the fact that that's a criminal act that the fellow has performed. So the question then is, didn't we see this coming? You know, I've said something yesterday, when we were having a chat about this matter, just before we go into the conversation, is whether or not the police has learned anything from the NSAS and End Bad Governance protest of August 2025. Amnesty International, for instance, quotes says that 24 persons were killed by the police in 2024, August, during the End Bad Governance protest. You know, so have we really learned anything? And then there is an orientation that has been going on. Is there anything in law that the policeman, the average policeman, should know before they go out for their service? It's really easy for any policeman. I mean, it's a global stuff, right? For any policeman to say, hey, this is an open and shut case. It's clear. This 1 + 1 is equals to 2. But we've also found out that in very many cases, 1 + 1 might just look like 2 until you actually dig deeper to find the evidence. And a good number of cases have proven that over time. So maybe this morning, the senior advocate will be guiding us onto what the law really says. What are the things that should be in the head of the average policeman on the street right now about this particular case? Because this, like many others, is one too many. Malcolm.
Oh, you're right on the money, because joining us to unpack these issues this morning is Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Kunle Edun. Thank you so much for joining us on Sunrise Daily. You must have been shocked, as we all were, watching that video clip of Omene Ogidi being summarily executed by a policeman who ought to have been protecting him. Can you give us your immediate thoughts when you watched that as a lawyer?
Good morning, Mope, and good morning, Nigerians. Sunday, the 26th of April, 2026, was a sad day for Nigerians. It was a sad day for Deltans, and particularly the residents of Warri and Efrun, and also the family of Ogenemine Ogidi. As a matter of fact, it was on Monday that I even got to know about what actually happened. The Attorney General of Ogun State, my elder brother, the sick, Mr. Oluwashino, called me. And I said, you are in Warri. This is what is on the social media. I said, I've already gone to social media for some hours now. Okay, let me just check. And he forwarded that video. Okay, I was traumatized. I saw a young man, 28 years old, Ogenemine, from a very, very humble background, because I got to know the family, living in one of these slum areas in Warri. You are from Delta too.
I'm from Lagos, but I lived in Delta State.
You schooled in,
so
you schooled in Delta.
I know Delta State
very
pretty well. Yes, I know Efrun pretty well.
I was almost like shedding tears. Ogenemine was crying, was pleading for his life.
Indeed.
That I'm innocent.
Yeah.
This package that I was sent, because there are not two versions. The police has its own version that it went to deliver the package, which contained, according to the police, a Beretta pistol.
Yeah.
Now, the other version is that Ogenemine went there to pick up the package, the parcel. And that woman was crying, shedding tears, pleading for his life. I know the person that sent me. I can take you to Sapele, show you the person. And this man, he wasn't even dressed as a policeman. If I had seen such a man on the road, I would not stop for him, because I would think he's a criminal. He was wearing, in fact, he was dressed in tattered clothes. Holding a gun. In fact, somebody handed the magazine to him, cocked the gun, right in the presence of police officers there, at the office, at the car park. I know the area commander, Ali Shaba, is my very good friend. Cocked the gun and shot this man in broad daylight. And he was hailed by his fellow police officers. While Ogenemine was crying, pleading for his life. I am innocent, I am innocent. This man killed him. Now, the good thing is that, immediately we got the story, I called the DCP Ops, Muyiwa, former PPR, and Bright Edafi, the PPR of Delta State Police Command.
Who is now in, I mean, we're talking about Muyiwa, who is now in Delta State?
It's not in Delta State. Yeah. It's the DCP Ops. They assured me that the needful will be done. Of course, I also escalated to the top echelon at the police headquarters. And I must use this opportunity to commend the new Inspector General of Police, Diso. This is quite different. I will tell you why it is different. Within 1 or 2 days, I think on Tuesday, today is Thursday, on Tuesday, and was it yesterday, the Aliyu Nuhu Usman, ASP Du Usman, and his cohorts, 3 of them, were transported straight to Abuja. Odalirun trial set, done. And this morning, or I think as at yesterday, but we got information early this morning that it has been concluded, and he and his 3 other cohorts dismissed from the force. I commend the IGP, I commend the CP of Delta State, Oyeni, and I commend Aliyu Shaba for being proactive. Because yesterday, Ekpa police station, where the area command, Efrun, is also cited, would have been burnt down by the youths. You must have seen the videos of youths going there, throwing stones, trying to burn down the police station. But I think by this morning, everywhere is calm now. I want to believe so. We cannot take laws into our hands. You understand? The IGP has done the right thing, and he has assured us, which we are going to follow, because I gave the family that assurance that in terms of prosecution, we will follow up this matter, because it doesn't end there. Dismissal is okay.
It cannot end there.
It can never. Dismissal is okay, but there must be prosecution, because what was done was clear murder. Clear murder. in the presence of all Nigerians. And I want to also thank the person that did that recording. Because assuming Ogademine will be taken from Efrun Park at that Efrun roundabout, on the way to Ekpan police station, assuming along the road, they shot him dead. It has happened before.
Yeah.
Nobody would have known. We'll be hearing different story that when he was trying to run away, in the course of attempting to arrest him, you understand, he was struggling with the police to get their gun, and they shot him. But this time around, that is not the case. Somebody recorded what happened. We don't know the person. I must commend that person. And that brings for the issue of police stations, police facilities, including DSS, and probably EFCC too. All security operatives, they should be wearing body cams, like they do in the US. And CCTV should also be installed at various police stations, because many atrocities are going on. Like between yesterday and today, even some of my colleagues sent me information about other atrocities that are still yet to be investigated.
So let me get this straight. You are based in Delta State.
Yeah, very well.
Okay, so I wonder what the situation of the family is at this point, because you have now, said that you have visited the family.
No, I've not visited the family.
You've spoken with
them. I related with the elder brother of the deceased.
On the phone? Was it on the phone?
On phone.
On the phone?
Yes.
And I'm sure that they must be distraught.
Very distraught. In fact, the last video I saw, when some of the activists went to see the family, the mother, an aged woman, I think she'd be about in her late 60s, he was weeping, crying. And what the elder brother actually told me, that this is the second time that a member of their family died in the hands of policemen. Ogademina's elder brother died in circumstances that also allegedly involved the police. We are going to investigate that. And now for another son of this same woman to also die in similar circumstances is very, very traumatizing. Mm-hmm. You understand? And, let me go back to that issue of the video recording.
Yeah.
The video recording. If you look at ASP Nuhu Usman, the way he cocked the gun, that couldn't have been his first time. The first time he was doing such a thing. Mm. That couldn't have been. And the way he was held.
There was a carelessness about it.
It looked like it was a pattern. It was a pattern. And that's very disturbing. And another thing again is that, what was it? Why was he so much in a hurry to kill the young man? Mind you, he had first shot him at the Efrun Motor Park. Shot him on the leg. After this young man had already been tied up by the park executives, he posed no danger to any person, even no danger to even himself. He still shot him. Why the hurry to kill the young man? What was he or they trying to cover up? So there's a bigger picture that we are yet to see.
Well, you are a lawyer, a senior advocate of Nigeria at that, and a lot of legal questions will be asked. As you have pointed out, the IGP has made a very strong statement, said this will not just end at administrative process. It is a crime. This is, it's going to see prosecution. But then there will be questions as to how the court processes will go. Would you say that this video evidence makes it clear enough, helps us quickly meet the threshold that will hold this man responsible for a homicide?
One interesting thing about trials, particularly criminal trials, you may have your facts, you understand, but the facts you speak were when you present them in the manner envisaged by the Evidence Act in the law courts. So you have to gather your facts very well, you understand, and make sure that they are in admissible form. You understand? In this wise, I am working with the NBA. The NBA President Alpha Mosiwe spoke to this issue yesterday. Actually, he released a press statement. Even NBA will release a press statement. So the NBA is going to be very well involved in this, because the NBA President has directed the NBA branches in Warri, Uju, and Efrun. So I may likely be leading that team to get involved in this matter, work with the police, work with the Ministry of Justice, Delta State. In fact, as I'm leaving, I'm going to speak with the AG or the Solicitor General of Delta State on how we are going to follow up this matter, because investigation at this stage matters very well. So we have to gather our evidence very, very well. Good enough, we have video evidence. Good enough, we have the statement of the IGP, even his video, the video recording of the orderly room trial. and the dismissal of the police officers. We have all those evidence, but we have to prepare them in an admissible form so that we don't go and encounter any issue of technicality in court. So I may say that on the face of it, it's a very clear-cut case, but we are going to make it clearer by the NBA and some of us getting directly involved. We won't just leave it to the police like that. We won't.
Okay, so the NBA is going to be involved
Very
in
well
this.
Involved.
I'm a little curious, if you were to be on the other side, because there are always two sides to a case.
Yes.
If one were to be on the other side, and I believe that even the accused, that's the interesting thing about the law, he stands still as a suspect and remains an accused until he is found guilty. What do you think the defense will be saying?
I will not be able to speak for the defense, but to be frank with you, seeing this kind of evidence, that's why I like the American system. They don't waste much judicial time. See this kind of evidence, I would rather immediately I'm charged to court. Not me, God forbid. Maybe the accuser is charged to court. I'll do plea bargain. But the thing is that in our laws here, this is murder. And the only punishment for murder is death. Is death penalty. It's a very serious case. Very serious case. And I just don't know the kind of defense he's going to proffer. I just don't know. Because he has not denied committing the act.
Can he deny it?
He can't even deny it. He can't even deny it. Because at the orderly room trial, he admitted shooting the young man twice. We have that information. We are going to get the full investigation reports. So I don't know the kind of defense he's going to provide. It's going to be a very difficult.
You know, yesterday I watched my colleagues interview the spokesperson for the police in Delta State, Odafe, and I could see that he was.
That was almost shedding tears.
He said he had no defense. That he can't defend this, and that the police doesn't attribute anything to spiritual problems. But it looked like that's the only explanation he can give.
Sorry about this ASP most likely must have been in the force for 20 years, 25 years, and recently promoted ASP. Okay. So it's not really or rather was, since he has been dismissed, a cadet ASP. He rose from the rank. So it must have been part of. If I always got to know that it was a member of the former SARS. You can imagine. So now the name was just changed, but they are still in the force.
So these are some of the issues that now come to the fore. In terms of the attitude, or will I say the thinking, in terms of what was done after Nigerians protested about end SARS. Okay, so they said we've disbanded SARS, but the policemen who made up that formation were not sacked.
Most of them are still
reabsorbed in the force. So huge questions here. And what more do you think will need to happen for Nigerian police to really, well, especially the rank and file, to get it that this sort of behavior is totally unacceptable? Do you think that whatever happens to this ASP Nuhu now and his colleagues, do you think that it will be powerful enough to really change the trajectory of the rank and file on the field? Or do you think that they'll be a little more wary and looking for people who are wearing cameras or anybody who is filming, rather than changing their behavior?
It may not. You know why I'm saying so? There's a worst case. In fact, one of my friends, a lawyer, Ike Augustine from MBO Owerri branch, and Shinedu Agu, a forthright activist, a lawyer too. Have you heard of Tiger Base?
In Owerri, yes.
Mokpe, I understand that worse atrocities are going on at Tiger Base. That base ought to have been shut down long ago. I understand that persons have been arrested, they will disappear overnight. Killings are going on, atrocities are going on, and so this case of Nuhu Usman, we should not treat it as an isolated case. It's a general pattern that Nigerians are getting to see. Now, why did I say about policemen wearing body cams? And mind you, if you're ready for social media, we wouldn't have gotten to know about this. So kudos to social media.
Even though
kudos to social media.
Yes, indeed. But even though Bright also did say in his interview that, yes, while social media helped create awareness about this video, he says that they already got the reports before that time and they had already started taking action as of Monday. So he says there was a process, and this is me just, quoting what he said, that there was a process. The officers, first of all, went to Benin.
Yes, they went to AIG.
Yes, where their orderly room trial was conducted before they were now being transported to Abuja. So he said that the police had already taken action. But then, as you rightly raised, there are fundamental questions as to whether this will be a one-off or whether this will be an opportunity for the Nigeria police, especially under the leadership of the new IGP, to take a broader look at these reports of human rights violations by police officers in notorious places such as Tiger Base, as has been enumerated.
Yes, like I did say, I commend the IGP, Disu, and I just pray that since he has started well, he should continue on this pattern, this path, because Nigeria Bar Association Warri Branch particularly, the Human Rights Committee, they are going to forward to him petitions with respect to similar cases, complaints that have been made, that were never investigated, submitted petitions, police did not do anything. In fact, it's as if I'm going to the NBA Secretariat. I'm going to speak with the first Vice President. We'll call upon our neighbors, please. Similar atrocities that have been committed, not only in time, not only at Tiger Base, but every other police formation. Send us all the petitions that are either to be sent, but we are not treated, so that we now forward everything straight to the IGP. Sir, no Usman is not the only one. There are worse no Usman in the police force. And these are the petitions written by lawyers, by victims. So, the same way he has treated the no Usman's case, if he would treat this other petition the same way, then I think we'll be looking at probably a reformed Nigeria police force. But is it going to be easy? I wish him well, because we are going to give him the work. We are going to assist him. In terms of prosecution, we are going to assist him. We can take fiat from the age of debtor states. We can take fiat and prosecute pro bono, free of charge. Because we believe that policing is everybody's business. It's not just the job of the IGP or any other person. And that's why I still commend this person that's dropped this video on the social media. Because if we had known, probably, I wouldn't know really, probably it wouldn't have taken this within few days. Within few days, 2-3 days, death weight. We know how the answer started. It started from Ugeli. Yes, so EFCC personnel went to Ugeli, all in the name of looking for Yahoo people. You understand? Started indiscriminately arresting youths. And there was no caution. The DNFC's chairman did not intervene, did not do anything. And everything went out of hand. Before we knew what was happening, EndSARS. Boys started protesting, got to Warri, got to Lagos. That was how EndSARS started. But this crisis that started a few days ago has been nipped in the bud. But we are not going to let it low like that. There are worse cases that we are also going to bring up, dig up, that were probably abandoned. So be rest assured on that, and I pray that the IGP will give us audience.
All right. I have further questions for you.
You should have been my first guest on this, Maokwe, particularly when the senior advocate is talking about human rights. Don't worry. Only those who know. But let me come to you, SAN, about the human rights angle. You've referenced SAN. Being honest here, the conversations around SARS or ending SARS started as far back as 2015 or thereabouts, and several conversations have been on, and it would seem like the police wasn't listening until that incident that you raised. Now, that said, is there, in your opinion, any, because just as you said, this case is not the only case, that's not the only policeman, and there are several cases like that all over the country. Do you think there is a need, or rather maybe I should put it, so don't you think there is a need to reorientate the policemen, the ones on the street that interface with people, about human rights? Because it doesn't sound like the police have that understanding of what human rights mean. Once in uniform, some of them really believe that they have all the laws. Meanwhile, the IGP is saying every citizen, regardless of their uniform, is accountable under the law. Do you think there's an understanding of human rights in the rank and file of the police?
Thank you very much. There's an urgent need to reform the Nigeria police force. Very, very urgent. The average Nigerian, with due respect to the new Inspector General of Police and other upright police officers in the force that are trying to do their best, the average Nigerian does not see the Nigeria police force as being friendly and being civilized. I am telling you the truth. I don't really go to police stations nowadays, but the experience I get from my colleagues, younger colleagues, it is really appalling. The premises of the Nigeria police force it's like when you get there, you are in a war zone. You understand? The approach, particularly the rank and file, you know, the way they treat suspects, you know, and the way they collect monies for bail. In fact, when I was the chairman of the Midwest Bar Forum about a year ago, my colleagues made complaints that, would you know that to submit petitions to the police will be demanding monies, in some cases 10,000 naira, in some 20,000, just to submit petitions. I'm helping the police to report a crime. You are not telling me to pay before you take my complaint. So I wrote,
and yes. The POs of such stations are aware.
So, I'm coming, Mokwe. So as the chairman of Midwest Bar Forum, then I now wrote a formal complaint to the then AIG Zone 5. That, look, because Midwest Bar Forum covers Delta and Edo State. I said, look, this is the complaints I'm getting from my members. Would you kindly investigate the same? Okay, good. Some days later, and I got a letter, I think from the Delta State Police Command, that I should come forward with my evidence. I said, seriously? Seriously? They all know these things are happening. They are happening. Lawyers know they are happening. And you know, nobody will come forward with evidence. So what I was actually expecting was that the police would do discreet investigation. You understand? So most Nigerians now, and that is the reason why the Nigerians are disposed to taking the laws into their hands. Because they feel that if they report to the police, you understand, either their complaints or investigation will be compromised, or rather they will be told to bring monies to follow up the case, and they are not ready. You understand? Now, apart from that, police prosecution is almost like zero. I can tell you the truth. Because in terms of investigation, and that is why some of us are advocating that the Ministry of Justice should get directly involved, as it has been done in the years, get directly involved from the investigation stage up to prosecution, before prosecution actually starts. You understand? Now, if you are a poor person in Nigeria, that's the truth in my few experience as a younger lawyer before I made SEC. If you are a poor person in Nigeria, you have a criminal complaint, may God help you. You should have money.
All right, Mr. Edun, just one more issue I'd like to take you upon. Now, the IG has made, you know, that recommendation and that pronouncement, dismissal and prosecution for the accused officer. But then there is also that, I mean, that issue of how it's going to be implemented. The Police Service Commission has the responsibility of recruitment, of discipline, and all those things. And now that the IG has made that pronouncement, is the PSC duty bound to comply, or there still has to be that administrative interface? Because you know that there's been that back and forth between the police force and the Police Service Commission over time.
Yes, there's back and forth. There's back and forth, actually, really. But in respect of this particular case, I do not envisage any situation where the Police Service Commission will have any issue in quickly approving or acting on the recommendation of the Inspector General of Police. The case is very, very clear. You know, it's strong on the face of it. I do not see any. I do not expect any.
In the light of that, Mr. Edun, in the light of that, every time there is an issue with the policeman, any policeman in any part of Nigeria, be it Kano, Sokoto, Maiduguri, Warri, Cross River, wherever, everybody mentions the IGP. But we both know that when it comes to recruitment, training, discipline of any policeman, it is supposed to be the assignment of the Police Service Commission. Is it that we are cutting the Police Service Commission some slack, or we just look for someone to call a scapegoat?
I think it's part of the Nigeria, this is my own personal opinion, it could be part of the Nigeria system, where we tend to do things not in line with the law, not in line with set rules, not in line with what is proper. Ordinarily, the Police Service Commission should be in charge of recruitment. That is why it is called Police Service Commission. You understand? The Inspector General of Police should be actually in charge of operation generally of the Nigeria Police Force. So each of these two bodies, they have their own different assignments portfolio cut out for them. Although there shouldn't be any conflict. But why are we having conflict in terms of, no, I'll be the one to be in charge of appointment, I'll be in charge of recruitment? Why? I don't know. But I don't think the law supports that. Police Service Commission should be in charge of recruitment. And IGP, once we have recruited, we send the men to you for you to manage, for you to send them to their various, give them their tasks, their operations. So, but the Nigerian system is always a problem. It's not only in the police force. It's not only in the police force. It's like almost everything that we put our hands in, you know, officially, in terms of government, the MDAs, it's like we're always having issues. You understand? But of late, I have not seen that conflict of late. Probably they have tried to like manage themselves, reach a compromise. But should there really be a compromise when the law is clear on the duties and responsibilities of the Police Service Commission? I don't think so. So, in the interest of Nigerians, I think the IGP should just leave recruitment to the Police Service Commission. That's what the law envisages, and it's nothing less than that.
How optimistic are you? Because we have heard that the IGP has committed that the prosecution of this ASP and his companions. Yes, I was going to say cohorts, but
yes,
to use companion.
Because they were there, hailing the man, praising him.
Yeah, and did nothing, absolutely nothing to stop him.
One of them handed magazine
to him. So he colluded, so to speak, you know, in the murder of the man.
Yes.
But how confident are you that in the coming days we can actually see a change, especially, you know, we must also take into cognizance the year that we're in is an election year, that politics will not override some of the deepest changes, some of the important changes that citizens have been asking for over the years, that this will bring to the fore and impress it upon politicians, the reason why they are in office and asking to be elected every 4 years. How do you know that this election season will not overshadow all that needs to be done to actually make this a significant change or to trigger a significant change within the police force?
Mokwe, you want me to speak about the personalities of the Nigeria kind of politicians?
No, I don't want you to speak to the personality.
Because
I'm just saying,
because
how do you know that this will not be overshadowed by politics?
Yes, because there's no way I'm able to answer that question without telling you that some of the Nigerian politicians are also problems to the system. You understand? Because some of the information we got, we can say, okay, purported or alleged information that we got is that some of these police officers that are the authority in the police force, they have the support of some politicians. That's what of some politicians. Even when you make complaints, you understand, they have a way of always, you know, say, okay, Godfather, he's still there. When they complain they gave this man, he's still there. In fact, some of them get posted to better employment positions.
So you are not optimistic about changes within the force, especially within the political year?
Not that I'm not optimistic. I am hopeful that with the new IGP, he has started well with this particular case. We are going to watch him. The Nigerian Constitution will watch him. And I just told you that, look, we are going to collect more information about similar incidents. And we're going to see what he's going to do about it. And if we see that, oh, this IGP is like completely different, then I can say, okay, we are very optimistic.
I'm just wondering how much time you think he has, especially the fact that we're talking about a year of politics.
Ordinarily, politics should not, because security is everybody's business.
Indeed.
It's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
So the fact that we are having an election should not make him detract from his representation as the chief security officer of the country. Oh, sorry. I wanted to say the state. Of course, the state governors, they are just there. They're not really chief.
The chief security officer. Someone said, isn't that the president?
I think he's the president.
Yes.
You know, so I don't expect him to just forget security because of election. The DPOs are there, the area commanders are there, the CPs are there, policemen are still everywhere, and that is why I want to commend the president with regards to the state policing. And I ask myself, Mokwe, and I'm not going to be tribalistic. I'm a patriotic Nigerian, but let us be frank with ourselves. If we have state policing, for example, in Delta, Edun State, or any other state that may want it, you will have policemen from that particular region, the indigenous from that region, actually doing all this, big majority of the rank and file, probably the officer Kida. You will not have somebody like Usman.
What has his tribe got to do with it?
No, I'm not. No. When you are talking about state policing, you're not going to bring somebody from Ogun State to come to Delta States as part of.
Does that change the attitude and the thinking?
You know why? It may. Because if you are an honorable man from Delta States, because that area, Efron, is an honorable area, and you are assigned to area command, Efron. An honorable man, they know your family, they know your home. You'll be more careful. You'll be more careful. You'll not be collecting bail money, bribes from your people that they know your home. You'll not be harassing Nigerians on the road, motorists on the road, because they know your home, they know your father. They know where you came from, they know the schools you went to. So you will not. And by when you retire, you are still coming back home. So I tend to look at that.
I see it with the angle you're coming at it from. But some people will say that also creates danger, because when people are from a particular area, they say it might also create a feeling of being unsafe for strangers, for people who come to settle in those places, that they might not exactly feel at home when the police are just from that locality, and they might feel an affinity to protect their own or take their side in a case when it is the outsider who has now been offended. I mean, yes, we are all Nigerians, but we know how these things go when we are living in different locations. Yes,
so it has its merits and demerits.
Oh, certainly. So, but we'll look to see how this eventually pans out. We have to thank you for your time. You have promised that you will follow up on this matter.
Yes.
We trust that you will also keep us posted in terms of the prosecution of this case and how the NBA proceeds with it. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. Mr. Kunle Edun is a senior advocate of Nigeria who will be speaking on the murder of Mene Ogidi in Delta State.